The night is dark, but Elliot is feeling even more so. The freshly lit fireplace is crackling and searing with happiness, as its fiery smile lights up the bungalow. Elliot feels an itch, a tug in his belly as he proceeds to warm his grubby little touchers.
Oh, how I would enjoy a good old scary story.
As he blinks to drench his eye in an ocean of water, a soft but deliberate knock can be heard emanating from the front door.
It is much too late for visitors.
Comes rushing out of his little mouth. Confused and disturbed, he waddles over to the cracked and splintered excuse for a door. He slowly opens it, and horror enters his soul as he realizes there is no one there. A small box on the ground in front of him lures his trembling eye to meet its presence. Like a lost child in a grocery store, he looks all over the area for the courier, but all he can find is nothing. The child in him begs him to pick up the package, to unlock its unknown contents. He reluctantly picks it up, and waddles with it over to the fireplace. He slowly places the box on the floor, and there on the carpet, an alien blue light starts oozing out of the box. Flickers and beams of bright blue lights blinds his eye, and the lid lifts itself off of the bottom part. A blue-skinned book floats up and hovers in the air, making itself known to the world. Elliot sees his last name written on the cover in jet black ink. Horrified to his core, he swipes the word carrier out of its orbit and proceeds to open it. As he is doing it, the light is slurped right out of the fireplace, and millions of little stories like that of stars in the sky fills his vision. A multitude of inaudible whispers resonate throughout the room, as Elliot scours the pages like that of someone who hastily searches for the answers in a school textbook. Now the proverbial Pandora's box is open and ready for its depth to be explored. Who knows what tale is hidden in its catacomb-like pages? It was the darkest and gloomiest hour of the night. I woke up from an oppressive feeling and I couldn't fall back asleep. In my head, I was going through the problems of my life. A night bird was hooting somewhere. Among all the night sounds, I heard a knock at the front door. Very quietly, 3 times, as if with claws. I froze in bed, afraid to move. I listened. Someone turned the handle, trying to open the door.
I surely did lock the door.
I remembered, flashed through my mind. Nothing followed, but I lay there, going through possible scenarios of what could happen. Who knocked? What would happen next? It could be a crazy homeless drug addict who always waits in the dark alley when I walk from the bus stop. It could be the ghost of the woman who lived in this apartment before me and disappeared with her children under mysterious circumstances, and now she's trying to get into the apartment because she left something inside. Or is it a demon-possessed neighbor? I lay there, thinking about all these horrors, about how from this moment on, my life would turn into hell. How a spiral of madness and persecution typical of horror films would unfold. I savored the details of all the troubles my nocturnal visitor would bring. I found the strength to get out of bed and go to the door. Quietly, trying not to make any noise. I pressed my eye against the peephole. No one was there. I returned to bed. The first rays of dawn began to glimmer. Birds chirped their morning songs. The normal life was returning. A boring job, fights with my girlfriend, debts, a sick mother. Sooner or later, any horror movie ends, and the real hell begins.
Nina, you are so naive. The secret society rules everything. They are in the government, on TV, in supermarkets. They manipulate earthly elites, and live in secret underground bases. Ancient reptiles completely enslaved the consciousness and will of the human race, by using a system of space emitters. The rings of Saturn and the moon were created by reptilians.
Hexagon in the North Pole of Saturn is the source of the signal, which goes to the moon and further, to the Earth.
Discount on wine only with a loyalty card. It is received only by members of the Special Buyers Club. Are you a member of the club?
I can't believe I clipped into the back rooms. My friends warned me about it, but I just shrugged it off as an urban legend made up by kids looking for attention. I had to look for some kind of exit, and escape out of here. The smell of old moist carpet filled my nose and lungs, to the point of it being unbearable. It was yellow walls as far as the eye could see, and the unending noise of the fluorescent lights almost buzzed my panic out of existence. I went around what felt like the 1000th corner, when a black ladder stood out like a sore thumb on one of the walls, making me feel some sort of hope. It led to a hole in the top part of the wall, so with no other options I decided to climb the ladder to discover its destination. It was a crawl space-sized tunnel, leading to the other side of the wall. I had no idea what to expect, so all I could do was speculate. The absolute silence inside this crawl space was so deafening and profound that for the first time, I actually felt safe and comfortable. On the other side was the same yellow walls scattered throughout, and the dread started to kick in. Past and future flickered away before my eyes. I just wanted to get out of there as soon as possible, and the thought of ever finding an exit felt like a pipe dream. It's so easy to lose track of time and space, because there's no direction in this place, so navigating through it with a compass idea in mind is impossible. After a long and tedious journey, I reached an area with a giant framed window, and it overlooked a courtyard of what looked like windows. Around a corner was a dumpster with a bat in front of it. This was the first moment of feeling true bravery, one that wouldn't last very long. I got to an area that just seemed off. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something told me to turn back and go the other way. I decided to press on, ignoring that little voice warning me. I moved closer to what felt like the source of my hesitation, and in a split second, a tall black stick creature darted out from behind the wall, making all sorts of weird noises. It chased me down the hallways and around corners, but it stayed close to me like a leech sucking blood.
You. Friend. Exposed nerve.
What if I told you that this video is not what you think it is? The sound this being makes when his exposed nerve is touched
Doesn't sound human at all.
and it might have a darker origin to it. Some people report having hallucinations and feelings of paranoia after the viewing, and some even end up in mental institutions for the rest of their lives. We strongly advise anyone who experiences any of the above-mentioned symptoms to
Seek medical or psychiatric help as soon as possible.
Michael and Stacy disappeared on the day they went out to the Arizona desert for a day trip. The authorities were notified of their disappearance by the neighbor friends, who reported that they haven't returned home after 5 days. The police had no leads, so they decided to go look around the desert for any clues and information on what happened to them. What they found there was telling. The couple's car was parked under a tree, with an offshoot dirt path nearby. A few feet into the path was a phone, screen facing up at the sky. They searched the whole area, but Michael and Stacy were nowhere to be found. They took the phone and checked it thoroughly, and they found one photo, but it had a dark twist to it. A selfie taken by Michael, with Stacy standing next to him, both brimming with happiness. They didn't seem to have noticed company, a trio of grays standing all around them. At the moment, crazy as it might sound, it seems the grays have something to do with it, and in today's world, abductions seems to happen more often than not. Some folks come back to tell the story, other don't. The phone, car and all other belongings was given to close by relatives for safeguarding in case the couple returns in the future. A few days after Michael and Stacy's missing case was closed due to lack of evidence and drive, her parents found something incredibly disturbing. After a long and relentless search on Stacy's Google Drive, they found a eerily similar-looking photo in some photo albums. The picture depicted Stacy's brother standing between a host of grays, smiling almost similarly to his sister and her husband. Confused and horrified, the mother went on a wild goose chase, searching for answers on Google, and fell down an endless rabbit hole of similar encounters and stories. The central idea or belief burns down to the following: in order to see these beings, you have to do a ritual where you sing a specific piece of literature. After waiting 2 minutes, you take out your phone and hold it in the air in a selfie position. The screen acts as a mirror for which these beings can see your exact location. If done correctly, all noise and sounds from your area will go silent. The beings descend down from the sky, with the goal of taking you with them, to never return. With all of this new information, the parents were able to put some pieces of the broken puzzle back together. Stacy must have found the picture of her brother and the grays on his phone after he also disappeared, since the two of them were inseparable, and she knew all his passwords and accounts. She convinced Michael to research all of it, and they found out about this phenomenon and tried to recreate it themselves, to see if it is true and maybe find her brother, to which in the end they found the answer. More than 10,231 cases were reported in the past 2 years alone, and statistics show that the numbers seem to be climbing by the day in frequency and severity. The parents don't know whether they should go to the police with this new knowledge, or if they should just keep it to themselves.